Welcome and thank you for watching. I'm Idaho Kurt, and I know the tune that is going through your head having seen the title to this video. Right? A little Bond, James Bond. I guess if it wasn't going through your head before, it is now. So sorry. Yeah, we're talking double agents and not the James Bond type. We're talking real estate agents. And what does that mean? Let's understand a little bit about agents, real estate agents, and agency. All right. When you hire a real estate agent, when you sign an agreement for a real estate agent to be your agent, that agent is bound by either fiduciary or statutory law to represent you and your best interests only, and to not divulge certain confidentialities or circumstances or facts that would put you at a disadvantage in any way in a real estate transaction. So for instance, if you're my client and you tell me I need to sell my house because we're getting a divorce, and you know what, I don't want my wife to get anything, so you sell it as cheap as you want, we'll take anything just to unload this thing. I can't tell that to another agent. If another agent comes by and says, hey, we want to put an offer on your client's home, how motivated are they? What would they take? What would they take if we were to make an offer today? I can't say. I am bound. In Idaho, we're bound by statutory laws, but I cannot say my agent, boy, they'll take rock bottom, just shoot us anything. See that? I am bound by those statutory laws in Idaho and other places. It's either statutory or fiduciary laws. So I represent you and your best interests, and I need to keep those best interests close to my vest in order to not divulge those things and fulfill my responsibilities as an agent. Okay, so here we go. You call me up and say, hey, Kurt, I'm loading the station wagon. We are excited. We are moving to Idaho. Will you be my agent? Wow, yes, of course I will. Here's the document, the paperwork, the agreement to sign off. I am now your agent. I represent you. I'm going to find you a home. So now that I'm your agent representing your best interests, and I say to you, oh, by the way, I just listed this home that I think will be perfect for your family. Would you like to go see it? You may be thinking, okay, well, Idaho Kurt is representing me and my best interests, and he's going to negotiate on my behalf, but he's going to show me a listing that he has, which means that his seller client has signed an agreement and Kurt has agreed to negotiate on the seller's behalf and represent his best interests. Whoa, can he do that? Can he do that? That is the big question, isn't it? The big question is, if my real estate agent is representing me as a buyer, and he also has a listing, and he's representing the seller, can my real estate agent do both? Here's the question, all right? Here's the question. Can my real estate agent represent me as a buyer and a seller at the same time in the same real estate transaction, and represent or negotiate and keep the best interests of both clients at heart in the negotiation? Negotiate and work for the best interests of both clients. Can a real estate agent do that? What do you think? What do you think? You get to vote. You get to vote, okay? Play my game, pause the video, talk about it with whoever you're watching this with. Pause the video and decide, yeah, I think they can, or no, I don't think he can. What do you think? What are the rules? Yes or no? All right, did you pause? Are we back? Did you play my game? Did you play my game? Can we or can't we? Well, here's the answer. The answer to this question is a resounding, flat out, absolute yes and no, and even a maybe. Yes and no, and even a maybe. In the state of Idaho, the law says that I can represent both a buyer and a seller in the same real estate transaction as a double, or more commonly referred to, a dual agent. So the term double agent, more commonly we use the term dual agent, simply means that I am acting as a dual agent for both the seller, or for the buyer and the seller, and I can do that under the laws of the state of Idaho. Now, keep in mind that there are 8 states that do not allow this type of agency, that do not allow dual agency. They feel it's a conflict of interest for parties involved. And so if you live in one of these 8 states, you might want to check the rules and regulations. Those states either outlaw it altogether or limit dual agency in some aspect. But in Idaho, we're okay. We're okay. So yes, I can represent both the buyer and the seller. Second part of that question, though, can I negotiate for and negotiate the best interests of both parties in the same real estate transaction? That answer is no. No. How can I, right? How can I, as an agent for the seller and an agent for the buyer, represent and negotiate the best interests of both parties, both sides? How can I fight? I gotta pick a team, right? I gotta pick a team. I can't sit on the fence. I gotta pick a team. So what's the deal there? The deal simply is yes, you can represent, but no, you can't negotiate on behalf of either one. I have to act as a dual agent, but I have limitations. A limited dual agent, meaning I have to remain neutral. So I cannot represent you as a buyer and then tell the seller, hey, my buyer will really go up this far on that price if you hold firm on your price. I can't give that information out, or I can't tell my buyer that my seller is getting a divorce and will take rock bottom. Those kinds of things. I have to remain neutral on both sides, but then I can perform those duties as a real estate agent in the state of Idaho under dual agency. Now, another question. Is that what you want as a consumer? What are the advantages and disadvantages of working with a dual agent? The biggest advantage is time and money. That's kind of 2 advantages. But really, when you're working with me as an agent, you want things to go efficiently and as smoothly, and I am bound by law to be neutral. And so therefore, we can get the deal done, and it happens all the time. It happens all the time that listing agents find a buyer, because that's what I've been hired to do when I list a home, is find a buyer. And so I can represent both in a neutral position, and it happens all the time. And that keeps the ball rolling, keeps things efficiency, makes things a lot easier, is less likely that deal will fall apart if you've got one person working both sides. Okay. The obvious disadvantage could be in some situations that you as a buyer want a different agent on that deal. Is that possible? Could you do that? Yeah. Let me show you real quick. In the state of Idaho, when you sign the form, here's what you're signing as a buyer. When you sign a buyer agreement form, there's a place there where your agent will say, do you agree to dual agency, meaning what we just discussed? And you can say yes, or I can say no, I don't. I want my own agent if it comes to a listing that my seller has. Okay? Same thing on the seller's end. When I list a home, here's what the seller agreement looks like. And the seller can specify the same thing. Yeah, I would like my real estate agent to only represent me as a seller, but if he has buyers that he brings, I'd like them to come with another agent. Now, really, when I'm hired by a home seller to sell your home, I'm going to go out and look for buyers to do that. So in all likelihood, you're going to want to say, yeah, that's okay as a seller. As a seller, that's okay. Bring all agents. I mean, bring all offers regardless of the agent. As a buyer, usually it's the case too that you're okay with me representing both, because that way I can show you my listings as well and be excited about that. And by not signing that, you're limiting yourself to not looking at what I might have listed. But there just may be a situation where you just don't feel comfortable in a certain deal or transaction having your agent represent both sides. Here's a suggestion, something to think about, and I'll leave you with this thought. When it comes time to sign that section and commit to either side, you know, yes or no, do I want to allow dual agency? You can tell your agent, I would just like to leave that blank for now. And consider that on a deal by deal or offer by offer basis. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So yeah, go ahead and everything's on the table right now. But if it gets to the point where for some reason you feel like as a buyer that I don't think I can be best represented by Idaho Curt on both sides of this, I want him or his broker to assign someone else in the office to represent me so I get to negotiate my side, then that option has been left open. And you still have that option as a buyer or as a seller as well. So just a thought. I just want to make sure that you are being represented and your best interests are being represented in a real estate transaction, because talk to your agent about that and see if they would be open to that. I certainly would be open to that. And I want you to work with me, but I want basically, bottom line, I want your real estate transaction to go smooth and as stress-free as possible. And if that means that you don't feel comfortable working with me as an agent on the buyer's side and want to be assigned another agent in that particular deal, let's do it. Let's do it. You're the consumer. You have the say. You have the power. Make sure you understand the laws and the rules where you live, and understand your options as a consumer in a real estate transaction. All right, good. Are we good with that? Any questions? Hey, if you have questions about agency, there's a lot of other areas that we could discuss, and maybe I will in a future video. But give me a call. And if you're to the point where you'd like to explore buying or selling a home here in Idaho or other property, give me a call. Set up a 15-minute Zoom meeting with me. I'd love to visit with you, chat with you. No pressure, no hype. And remember, you can search all listed homes for sale on my website, idahocurt.com. Hey, I appreciate you watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you soon.